Hey, and welcome back to Channel 64. So we're up here on the nether roof because we're going to do some prep for a brand new build challenge that's going to tie in with the holiday season. That is, of course, Halloween. So what we're going to be doing is actually setting up a contest where folks will get to decorate gas. Yep, you heard me correct. It is a gas costume contest, and that's actually what this device right here is for. So this is kind of a modified version of a gas catching system that I built back all the way on the Nerdcraft SMP season 2. It's based off of Doc M77's gas catcher. I think that was in season 9 of Hermitcraft, and it's a little bit similar. The only difference is really we had to replace all the blocks down here with magma blocks because the brown mushroom that would normally be here to light this all up, that doesn't work in the newer versions of Minecraft because mobs will spawn in any light level lower than 7, and those only put off 1 light level. Whereas magma blocks, well, that is only going to be for gas, at least in the Soul Sand Valley. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be capturing all of them. So once they spawn in right here, they're going to trigger some pressure plates that are right there. And that's going to dispense a minecart that's inside this dispenser here, power that rail as well. And it's going to knock them down into this rail system, which they'll go through the glass without suffocating, and be put into this queuing system. So what this will do is it'll queue up a bunch of different live gas in mine carts, and then when we're ready to ship them off into the overworld, which we have a portal over there built for that, we just come over here and click on this note block, and that will take care of that. I'm going to show you what we have on the overworld side here. An example of that is actually going to be right here. This is going to be our gas holding system, and it's basically just some blocks. I built these out of obsidian because I don't want the player that's building a costume around the gas to accidentally break it and knock the gas out of alignment. So obsidian is the best choice because it does take a while to break that. The light here is just going to be to light up the gas because it will be inside the actual gas itself. So hopefully that'll cause the gas to be visible from further away up in the sky. And then this glass 3x3 block right here, this is to block the sight of the gas. So this is where the eye line level is for the gas itself. And if there are glass blocks pushed into that, they can't see the players. So we will be able to get right up to the gas, like practically this close, just our faces touching, without the gas exploding our faces with fireballs. Because they will be completely oblivious to us. Anyways, so we're going to have to go ahead and AFK up there for a bit and get some gas. Let's go ahead and check out the overworld real quick. I want to show you how we're setting this up in our Halloween district. We have a whole bunch of rail systems that are going to be leading to these different areas. I kind of tried to space them out a bit and vary them where they're going. The only downside to putting gas in minecarts is, well, they like to look towards the south. And so I had to kind of set everything up in that direction because, yeah, I can't get them to look elsewhere. Now, you're probably asking, well, why didn't you use Happy Gas? Wouldn't that be a lot safer? And I consider that. The problem with Happy Gas, though, is when you put them in minecarts, they like to wiggle around all over the place. And that's not going to look really good for a costume. We want the gas to basically be facing in one direction and not moving around. And the Happy Gas, they just like to spin about and go all over the place. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. But, the hostile gas should be safe. I'm not going to guarantee it, but, 99.9% safe. Maybe. And the idea here is we're going to have the cast members and supporting cast coming out here to decorate the gas. And even if they decide not to decorate all the gas, at least we'll have some gas floating in the air, and it'll look very spooky because there's going to be these giant ghosts up in the air, which would be kind of cool. And I think what we're going to do is grade them like you would a normal costume contest. So, funniest costume, scariest costume, all that fun stuff. So we're gonna have until Halloween to get that put together. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and capture some gas. All right, and sometime later, we now have quite a few gas. They're still very loud. Um, this didn't work as great as I thought it would, so I had to make even more tweaks to it. I had to raise this up. The problem is that the hitboxes of the gas were tweaked a few versions ago, and that's causing this not to work, and also double dispense different minecarts and stuff like that. So it does kind of mess it up a bit, and pardon me jumping down a lot to get the extra minecarts out of there. But I think we've got enough for now. What I'm going to go ahead and do is actually check on the overworld side real quick. Let's get away from these guys. I just want to make sure that we have this all set up to start putting them in the right stalls. All right, perfect. So the first one is going to be the nearest one, so we're going to go ahead and send it. And then as we go along, we're going to have to flip these levers to basically allow the cart to go further on down this line of tracks. So let's go ahead and do that. So working flawlessly so far. Shouldn't be able to see us. We're going to kind of follow somewhat closely, but not too close. And now they should go through. Much easier than 117, that's for sure. Oh, well. This probably needed to be a little bit bigger. That's okay. And he's in. So you can see kind of how this is all going to be laid out. So yeah, it's a little bit visible from the bottom here, which is fine. But then of course, you know, they are going to be blocked in. I'm going to go ahead and take this top part out, and probably that one right there. You won't even see the part that's kind of blinding them. And then probably we'll put a nice little wool barrier around the outside so that the other players know where they can build on this gas in relation to the rest of it. But yeah, so far so good. All right, well, let's move over another like 13 or 14 more. All right, everybody is in their positions. So as you can see, well, except for those far ones out there where the gas is just not rendering in, but I assure you they're there. So everybody's in their positions, and it went mostly flawlessly. We had a section that wasn't being powered of the rails there, so that was kind of annoying. But other than that, everybody is in their position. So now I'm going to fly out of this cloud and probably clean up all of these rails. And then I think what we're going to do is also put a ring of wool around these so that it gives a starting point for everybody making their costumes, because otherwise you're gonna have to kind of tower up and then try to build off of it, whereas if I give it like a little bit of a almost like a life preserver type thing there with the wool, we should be able to at least have a starting point for the builds. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up, and then we'll come back when it's all done. It's all cleaned up, and as you can see, we have a bunch of gas now floating with what looks like an inner tube around them. So as I explained before, this block area right here around the gas is actually going to be just more of a starting point for whatever costumes people make. That way you don't have to pull her up and try to get something to stick your blocks to. It'll have that, and of course we can get that removed. So I'm going to go ahead now and finish cleaning up here, which means removing this portal and everything on the nether side. And then we'll move on to our next project. All right, everything's been cleaned up, and I want to go ahead and show you guys how we would actually sign up for this contest. So this is going to be here for the cast members and the supporting cast. They can go ahead and read the book and then submit their name along with their build name in the barrel right there. And I've, of course, provided some supplies. So let's check it out. So as you see, we have some scaffolding, some name tags, bottle enchanting. Scaffolding is going to be important to get up to the gas. And then, of course, this is for having some levels to be able to actually rename the paper. We've already got a couple folks. So Liv and Oliver have done a couple of the gas decorations. And so we'll take a look at that in a second. We'll reveal the spoilers. But first, see, the Ghast costume contest. The Ghasts have flown into Channel 64's Halloween district for the festivities, but unfortunately, they aren't really dressed for the occasion. Help them by building Halloween costumes around them to really get them into the holiday spirit. Your costume can be whatever you'd like as long as it's around the Ghast and the Ghast is partially visible. There are no build limits or constraints, but be mindful of the builds around you and do not encroach on the other builds. And then, of course, we have our criteria. So funniest, scariest, most creative, judges pick, and a participation prize, of course. And then you sign up by writing your name on the paper. And you have until 4 p.m. Pacific on Halloween. And then, of course, we've got some awesome contenders already. So these are some perfect examples of Ghast decorations. So we have Liv's over here. This is Rapunzel. It's just so funny. They got Rapunzel's in the tower and the hair coming down. Really great use of space. I mean, wasn't even expecting to have it touch the ground, but the fact that she built a building around the gas as well. I know it might be extra points there. And then we have this awesome Kirby right here. Just looks fantastic. Look at that. The cheeks and everything. It's so cool. So yeah, some really great starts already to the gas decorating contest. Hopefully we'll get some more contestants because we only have 2 right now, and we don't have a lot of time left before Halloween. It's only like a few weeks away. Anyways, I think that actually might be it for right now. Let's make this nice, short, and sweet. I think in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and do some of the quests that have been lying around on this server that I've been kind of neglecting with all these different projects. It's time to sit down and see what other people have made for us and check that out. So that'll be a lot of fun. So until next time, happy Halloween, everybody. Safe travels.